All right, welcome everybody. Here we are on our Wednesday, which used to be Sunday free call. A lot of energy going on. I wanted to gather everybody today and prepare you for Saturday. Saturday is the winter solstice of 12/21/24. And after going back over all of this work that we have done over the years, there's this beautiful pattern happening. And it's culminating and amplifying on Saturday, where it's going to double by infinity speed, meaning the energy is going to amplify so much. And so it's so important for all of you to be prepared energetically, to get in a really great space for Saturday's activation and call. And for all of you who are in our membership or on our email list, you're going to receive the activation of 12/12/2022, where we work with this Godspeed frequency. And that frequency went up to 44 octaves as we went through it. And inserted were 12 beautiful golden discs. And what's happening on Saturday is we're doubling that to 88, which is the infinity. And it's connected with the Mother Source creation grid that we've all been working on. And we're going to jump from the 12th gateways to the 13th, which is the divine feminine, and anchor into a whole new reality. So it's a really, really powerful time on the planet and a very potent time. And so if you can consciously choose to connect with the energy and the activation and do what's needed to do in order for you to hook into those higher frequencies, it's going to be so beautiful. If for some reason you can't join us, there will definitely be a replay. And if you're not up for doing that or listening to it, just go into nature on your own, connect with the stars, connect with the inner earth, open up your nervous system. I'm going to be channeling the Angel Raphael today, and we will ask questions about what's coming up for the solstice. And it's also an opportunity for any and all of you to ask questions as well. So if you have any questions today that are universal, remember, not personal questions, Raphael will answer them. I've been channeling for a long time, and I can see now when I go on YouTube, it's just filled with channelers, right? And it's so important that you tap into your own heart and to discern what feels good, what feels right to you. Remembering that all of the divine information, whatever it is that you know it already. It lives and dwells inside. We're just here in the Angel Raphael to guide you and support you on your journey. But you are your own divine sovereign being, and and the whole purpose of all of this and the shift that's taking place is to tap into your own inner knowing, your own intuition, and remembering how powerful you are and that all the answers are inside. If you have some questions, please raise your hand. If you'd like to get into our community in order to raise your hand to ask questions, you can join our free membership in the link below. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Okay, with that, I am going to start to tone and prepare to bring in the Angel Raphael. For those of you who don't know me, I started channeling when I was 21 and I'm 57, so a really, really long time. It was a spontaneous awakening. It just happened to me. And through all these years of channeling, I still, in order to connect with the frequency, do it the same way. And that is by closing my eyes. I make these toning sounds. My body kind of rocks a bit back and forth. The Angel Raphael will come in and say hello in this sweet way, and you'll say hello wherever you are in the world back, and that connects and hooks you into that frequency of the angel's energy and blessings. And then we will open it up to questions. Okay? All right, so let's start. Hello.
Hello,
Hello, hello, hello,
hello,
hello, hello, hello, hello. Ah, we are very delighted, as always, to be here with all of you at this time and to remind you of the light that you are as we are attuning to all of you and your frequencies. It is our understanding that you like to play in the mind of the logic and the linear, in which you communicate in certain ways, in which we can be of assistance in opening up aspects within the heart and the mind, and the remembering and the understanding of who it is that you are. And so, with that, what is it you are wanting to talk about today?
Hi, Raphael.
Hello.
Hello. So our
Hello.
first question of today is that you mentioned an upgrade to our nervous system during the winter solstice. What does that mean?
There is a major upgrade happening in all aspects, all around the globe. For this upgrade is occurring in the nervous system of the Great Mother herself. It is occurring in the galactic realms, and it is occurring inside of you. Meaning, as we have been working with you diligently for many years, you have been receiving many codes that have been inserted within your energetic field, and we are moving from what might be perceived as the 12th gateway into the 13th. As this occurs and takes place, you will notice a significant and profound change in your energetic and your light body as a whole, meaning your perception of reality and your ability to see and perceive in what you call beyond the veil into and through other interdimensional realities will start to become more visible, more real, and more profound, including the ability to regulate your own nervous system and to bring it into balance. Many of the nervous systems, as we attuned to the general populace around your planet, are on what is perceived an overdrive, meaning they are overly stimulated because the bombardment of energies coming from your great central sun, the solar flares, and the energies that are coming at this time to support the ascension of your planet and your body feel overwhelming. And so during this gateway, there will be a recalibration so that you will be able to synthesize and integrate these energies in a way in which you will feel more at ease, and there will be a more flowing in the body, and capacities inside of you that have, in a sense, been dormant will be activated. In this activation, you will be unplugging from what we call the past matrix, meaning the perspective in which you have been operating through belief systems to current date that are still programmed inside your energetic field will begin to be unplugged. Even though they are and will be unplugged because they are so familiar to you, you might still operate as if they are operating, similar to perhaps a prisoner who had been in jail for a long period of time, and then the doorway was open, and yet the mind somehow perceives that there is no way to leave because the confines of what the mind has told them remains intact. However, this doorway will be open and this connection will occur, which will place you in a state of presence and neutrality, allowing you to have a greater capacity to move toward and to receive and to align with, and for timelines to choose in addition to the frequency of your vibration. Meaning, when and as this upgrade takes place within your nervous system, that is already upgrading in the galactic systems inside your oceans and across all lines and vortexes and stargates, as above and so below, will be mirrored within the nervous system and nodes of points inside your body, upgrading your systems as you are aware from certain chakras of 7 into the 12 that will ignite into the 13th. This will activate the Kundalini vibration and the unification of the male and feminine energies. As this takes place, you will notice that your ability for creation and manifestation will be deeply amplified, for your capacities for healing and many things will be feeling as if they are coming online. This takes place because you will be tapping into and you will be doubling from the 44 to the 88, which is the infinity frequency. As the infinity frequencies are running through your nervous system, they will align to the Mother Source creation grid of her infinite love. And that love frequency and you will become one. As this begins to take place, you will notice many changes. And so this is occurring during this gateway as you pass through. And we are here to be of assistance in this process.
Thank you, Raphael. So we'll take our first question from April. Go ahead, April. You can unmute yourself.
Hi, Raphael. Thank you so much. I'm wondering, when we're dealing with like long-term or chronic health things, is the healing a matter of like raising our vibration, our consciousness out of those ailments, or how can we, I guess, address like long-term chronic illness?
Oh, this is something that many of you are experiencing. Even the vessel in which I move my energy through has these experiences. And much of this will be shifting and changing as you are upgrading your nervous system. Everything within your body is stored, for your body is a record keeper of all information to date of your human experience, not only in this lifetime, but all lifetimes. Part of what is happening as you are passing through these gateways and these upgrades are happening is the belief systems and patterns in which you have been held, which have been held within your body, are being unplugged, meaning the personality matrix of the mind that has repetitive thoughts that hold you in specific patterns that are connected and associated with events that took place within your human experience and other experiences that are running on a cycle, that are sending off hormones and chemicals in your body and are accelerating your cortisol levels, and your adrenalines are in a high state of fear and concern and worry, even if it is not conscious or embedded in old programmings, are being unplugged. However, from your perspective, where it is that you are now, we encourage all of you to start to bring conscious awareness to your thoughts, because much of what is taking place has been, up until date, very deeply embedded in the unconscious. Part of the gateway and the moving forward through the solstice energy is some of those patterns are going to become more clear to you as they will come more into focus, almost like a movie screen of your life to date, and the experiences you have can flash before you, in which you can invite a knowing as to why the chronic illness or pain in the body is firing off. Many of you who are deeply empathic or sensitive are those that are in a specific percentage of beings on the planet that feel things more deeply. The deeper in which you feel things and the sensitivity, such as this one, who has the capacity to connect to us through her empathic understanding and opening within her energetic signature, is more prone to chronic disease and illness. You may think that that is strange, for it is that I am the angel of healing and should be able to bring coherence and balance within her energetic body. And yet it is the personality matrix that must choose to unplug from these old patterns. This is the same for many of you, meaning you have anchored into your system, not knowing and in an unconscious way, specific energies that have taken place or entered into your field through those around you and your own experience. And so it is an unplugging from that and a shifting into the creation of what it is you are wanting to create with conscious intent daily, that is firing off new signals within the synapse of your neurocortex, and within the nervous system. This upgrade to the nervous system will support you in having the energy and capacity to do so. All of you are very familiar with the power of where it is you place your attention and your thought pattern things and the creation of what that does within your body. And yet, on an unconscious level, you may be repeating sentences, thoughts, and patterns that are continuing to anchor into the energetic field around you, that in which has been familiar because it is one in which you have known. This unplugging that will be taking place as we move through this gateway will make it easier for you to plug into the feeling, the emotion, the creation, the manifestation of a whole, well body that is operating with vitality, where the light is moving through. It is, however, very important that anything that is brought into the body is programmed with this new template of light, meaning your water and your food, the way in which you breathe, how it is that you think, your meditation, and etc. We cannot stride enough the importance of meditation and breath and stillness in order to bring the nervous system into coherence, utilizing this meditation not only in the process of stillness that is required in order for you to allow the thinking mind to move into a state of presence and neutrality, where you can begin to start to connect with an emotion that allows you to move forward in your template to a higher creation of manifestation of healing within the body. But it is also essential in the conscious thinking mind to begin to reiterate repetitively that in which you are wanting to create in the body. As you start to become the observer of your thoughts and the noticing of them, you will notice how many thoughts that are reaffirming old patterns continue to arise. As we said, some conscious and unconscious. That is why we are here supporting the unplugging of these unconscious beliefs as you remove yourself from this personality matrix and begin to plug into one where you are more conscious of them. However, this is like a child learning to ride a bike. And as we remove these training wheels, it may take some time to get your stride, to get used to the process, and to find your balance. In which case, practice will be needed, meaning you will have to practice daily, regularly, even hourly, or even perhaps in increments of 15 minutes to notice what thoughts you have been telling yourself, what it is that you are reaffirming in your energetic field, and what you are plugging into. As this new energy is available to you, it will make it much easier, and it won't be as difficult to unplug from the matrix of these old belief systems. There are certain things within the body that can be done as well. As you begin to choose a conscious thought around your health process, and to bring that into focus, meaning simply bringing into your awareness a happy thought, any happy thought that you have. You can then connect within the mouth through the smile of some type, or begin to open up, noticing any muscles in your body that have been in a state of tension or contraction, and open them into the extension flow. As you begin to do this, you can tap down into the earth and ask that the very deep, intuitive, and depth waters begin to rise and begin to feel the serpent bearer energy of the 13th zodiac, which is the vibration in which we will be working with, start to open at the base of your spine. The reason we are moving from the 44 to the 88 is that you will notice we will be doubling and multiplying the energy at the base of the original cells of 8 at the perineum, where the combination of these energies will begin to intertwine together as they rise through the spinal cord, opening up the fluids and activating the pineal gland. This will give you perception that you have not had before, and the capacity to utilize that in which you've been hearing and learning about for a long time into a way that is more accessible to you so that you can plug into these frequencies. It is also important to recognize that there is a combination of this in addition to outside influences in your water, in your food, in your environment that are perhaps what you would call very toxic. And it is that it is important to be conscious and aware of these substances and how they are interacting with your field and choosing to make a conscious decision to connect with those that are filled with light and that are radiating with love. And if you are noticing something in which cannot be perhaps avoided that is toxic, to utilize your conscious intent and the frequency of love to begin to shift its vibration so that as it enters into your energetic field, it is aligning with that of wholeness and healing.
Thank you, Raphael. And just to clarify, you're saying if we've consumed a lot of toxins and we want to detox, our intention will help detoxify us in and of itself, or is there something more that we have to do?
Your intention is extremely powerful. And yet, many of you forget this. For I see you all seeking and searching for so much. And yet, in the seeking and searching, what you are saying is that you are not capable of shifting the energetic patterns within your own body, and that there is something somewhere to fix this. As you start to recognize that the innate intelligence within your body, when given the opportunity, can bring wholeness and healing, you will begin to understand and look toward other things as a supplement to support your process, but you won't be looking for them in a way of need. When you are going there from a place of need to outside resources, rather than from bringing them in as an energy to support you in your healing process, you're coming at it from a very different vibration, because from the vibration of need means that you are not capable of what you might think fixing or bringing back into balance or coherence that which is out of balance within you. And in that alone, you are not owning your own divinity and the power that resides within you for complete wholeness. We understand that this is easy to do because this is the matrix and the energy, and this is the programming which you were born to and very much accustomed to, and can be deeply anchored within your belief system. We are here to support you in the unplugging from that system. In terms of toxicity, of course, Mother Nature has brought many things into your experience that can help you to flush out that which is toxic. But the intention is essential, and the knowing and the belief that that is so is critical. In connection with that, of course, bringing water that is in its crystalline state, radiating love as blessed with the intention that it washes away and clears the toxins, using binders, charcoals, chlorella, etc., certain things that have been given to you by Mother Earth to support the pulling of these toxins and the releasing them in the body is of great value. There are many things that you can do, simply giving your body a rest from having or consuming food so that its intelligence has time to address its energy in other directions to clean up the toxins. You are all aware of all of these things and know what to do. And however, you must align to your own intuitive knowing and listening to your own inner guidance, trusting in it and following through.
Thank you so much. Asia, go ahead.
Hello. I guess piggybacking on the previous question, for healing, emotions are often the root cause of physical ailments. For those having issues in the physical body, specifically around the chest and lungs or spine and shoulder, what are the best ways to heal the root cause of these issues?
We are wanting to remind all of you, as you have already stated in this question, that anything within the physical body that you are experiencing of any ailment of any kind begins in the emotional body. It is important, however, not to blame oneself to if you are feeling a chronic illness or pain of any kind that you have in some way caused it, but to recognize that the accumulation of your human experience can weigh heavy. It can be very dense on the body, and this density can begin to squeeze out some of the life force energy and begin to create inflammation through the tension in the body and the clenching in the body from experiences that you have had that have been traumatic and which you may not even label as traumatic. As you tap into the heart, of course, you are aware that the heart is in relationship to the connection of another, especially that of loss of some type or breakup or abandonment. The lungs deeply are in relationship to the vibration of loss and a feeling as if one is smothered as well or cannot breathe or overwhelmed. The heaviness within the shoulders is carrying way too much on your shoulders, as if the world is all there for you to take on. These energies can be removed and released, and we would recommend working with our DNA light codes. Those codes go into different parts inside the body, from the spleen to the gallbladder to the heart to the lungs, etc. And it begins to bring healing there as you work with some of our masters from the galactic realms as they come in, and great ascended beings and medical energies that work with you surgically on an energetic level to help open and release these stuck energies within your system. This is the reason that this particular code has been transmitted, and this transmission came through over a period of time, supporting the healing in the body. This is our recommendation, but as we are attuning specifically here, we want all of you to know that it comes down to a willingness to fully and completely accept, love, and honor who it is that you are, knowing that you are and always have been a divine being of light. We recognize that this may seem shallow or easy to say and is not supportive in finding true answers to the problems in which you are experiencing at this time. But it is a curve of learning that takes place. And as we pass through this gateway and you open up into the upgrade in your own nervous systems, you will begin to become the regulator, the master of your nervous system, and become in relationship to it in a way in which it can receive the light needed for it to come back into coherence.
Thank you, Raphael. Ava, go ahead.
Hi, Raphael.
Hello.
Hello. Just to piggyback sort of back on the last couple of questions, for those individuals that are born with medical conditions, or maybe even very young babies sometimes come down with terminal illnesses, what is the cause of those if it's not emotional? Is that karmic or some type of contracts that are made? And if so, can those be cleared, or is that something that those individuals will have for their lifetime?
Oh, of course, all of this has great complexity. And there is complexity in that we had shared with you that within the emotional body that one is carrying, it is accumulation of this lifetime and other lifetimes. The oversoul itself may carry through what you speak of, in a sense, a karmic cycle of energies in which it is holding not only for itself but for its family. So one may choose to come in with a specific contract that might appear devastating or very sad, that one is experiencing something, and there is always a beautiful reason and purpose for it, but it can often be a lesson for the entire family and the unit that is surrounded by it, as it is the fastest way for an acceleration in an evolution of their human understanding and growth process, in which one may, during the time in which you are in a state of pure bliss and love, and you feel the pulsation to come to earth, you may raise your hand for something that might be a bit bigger than you realized in that moment and that state of bliss, as you descend through the spirals and energies into density and form, waking up in a human body that is riddled with disease. However, there is always a design plan in its own divinity for the unfolding of this, as difficult as it may seem. And yes, spontaneous and complete healing can fully and always occur. However, it is often in relationship to the dynamics and connection in relation to the process of all of those in that soul group and the learning that takes place. And sometimes the process of maintaining in the disease process for those around them is actually a gift that was given by the one holding the disease. We recognize that this seems and can be somewhat complex. However, the most important thing within this whole process, dependent upon all of it, is to find unconditional acceptance and complete love and reference to whatever is unfolding in its current experience to the best of your ability, without assigning or aligning to it in the vibration of victimhood. And it is that through that process, the evolutionary spiral of growth accelerates and is in a quickened state. The changes that are happening on your planet at this time and the massive shifts that you are going through, as we were saying, and the gateways that you are passing through regularly as they continue to speed up and accelerate, are unplugging you from these entire systems as a whole, and the need to experience them individually and collectively, or within soul families or groups, in order for you to move through the evolutionary process of your healing and those around you. However, if it is still in its operating system, remember it is not isolated to the individual, especially when it is in relationship to a child, but to the surrounding adults and beings around them. Simultaneously, it is the same for someone older or elderly or other energies and the children around them. For there is always a process of growth and learning for the entire unit through the instigation or energy of disease and itself.
Wow, thank you, Raphael.
Yes, thank you.
All right, Christina.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Hello. Um, this kind of builds up maybe a little bit on the earlier questions too. I've been feeling lately a lot of upgrades in the body, like physically. I feel like my cellular structure is changing and it feels good, but sometimes I feel myself intentionally distracting myself and not allowing the upgrades or the energy to come in. So
Yes.
like for like Netflix, or like I go to the refrigerator or anything. And I'm just wondering why you think that may be happening, and if you have any tips on how to address that. Thank you.
These changes that are happening can be frightening. And although we can tell you that they are magnificent and wonderful, it is very common for many of you to want to remain in the familiar because it is comfortable. And when we move at an accelerated pace and light, such as the light that is coming into the planet at this time, begins to bombard and hit your nervous system, there is an alarm in a sense that goes off within you, meaning some things perhaps that you do not want to see or face, or in alignment with the map of your purpose and passion that may have not fully unfolded or come into alignment yet, will be shown to you, meaning many things that have been hidden by you on your own and unintentionally, or hidden in a sense in which has not wanted to be seen or revealed, can't hide. And so there will be a desire to remain in the comfortable and to numb oneself out. And so food and television and these things begin to create this numbing sensation and give temporary relief from having to perhaps see or face that in which is ready to come to light in order for wholeness and healing to take place. However, we want you to all give yourself a little break and know that it's okay to take some time out, to numb if you have to disengage temporarily, but to at least bring conscious awareness and know that you are choosing to do so. That I am choosing now to disengage from my evolutionary process and my growth process in order to delve back into the familiar, because there is perhaps something in which I am not wanting to feel or sense or connect to, and that's all right. However, as this energy continues to come in, some will really try hard to stay in what they have known because it is comfortable, but we can assure you that that won't work for long periods of time, because then the energy that's bombarding will just become louder until it is faced. And so you are on, in a sense, a bridge between worlds, and you have been for quite a long period of time in the linear aspect of your human experience of how long you have been here, because you are generations that have chose to descend onto the planet during this transition. So you're transitioning from a very linear based energy of carbon and understanding of time and systems, frequencies that have been unfolding in a certain aspect that are comfortable and familiar. And even though they're not always great, you know what they are, to something that feels very unknown, that is very expansive, that is crystalline, that is much lighter, that is accelerating your DNA, that is more, that you are morphing into more of your own divinity and into your remembering, into connection to interdimensional energies and beings in which your passion, your work, your purpose, your desire, your creation, all of that is coming to the surface to be seen, to be looked at, to be focused on, in order for you to evolve in a quickened state. And so, because you on the planet, meaning you, all of you, are between these worlds, you vacillate back and forth. You are on the bridge and you start to go a little bit over it, and then it gets a little overwhelming, and you go back to what's familiar. And that's all right. You are not running across into 5D. Some of you are, and some of you are deeply embedded, not even aware of 5D. And some of you are on the bridge and you're taking baby steps, and sometimes you take a few backwards. But it is important in that process to not be in judgment of those times and to surrender to them with love for yourself. And as you release any guilt around it, the actual need for it will lessen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Raphael. Thank you, Christina. All right, Kathy, go ahead.
Hello, Raphael, my friend. How are you today?
Hello.
Staying along the same lines of everybody else, so this is really wonderful. I had an extremely stressful year and a half, really, really bad. I lost my very best friend and soulmate, and my body just took the hit. I can feel it, and now I'm trying to unravel that. And there's so much physical muscle pain and I was fine with my tummy, and now everything I eat seems to make me sick. So I'm just looking for a little advice.
Archangel Raphael, are you there?
We are attuning to this frequency. However, it was our understanding, because this is a very deeply personal answer, and we are not sure it is of appropriate venue for it to be shared with the world.
Oh, wow. Well, that just makes me even more stressed.
There is no need to be stressed, for it is this continuous worry and stress and need for it to be other than it is that is creating so much of this turmoil. We are inviting you to come back into peace and into balance with yourself, because everything that is needed is already right here. But for a period of time, you have been searching for it somewhere else. So, all it is that we want to say in this now moment is that you are loved. And the reason we were not wanting to speak of this in depth is because it's still deeply related to your relationship with your mother and her inability to hold you and to love you. And it is that relationship is still the program that is operating, that is overlaying what everything else is, in the need to feel loved, to be worthy. And we cannot reiterate enough that you are already worthy and lovable as you are.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Raphael. And let's all remember to keep the questions universal. Thank you. Natalie.
Hello. My
Hello.
question is about perimenopause and menopause. We all know the hormonal and the physical changes that happen to women, but there are so many women that go through spiritual awakenings during that time, and it's such a huge shift in someone's life. I'm just curious if there's a spiritual meaning to when a woman transitions through perimenopause and menopause. I'm just curious.
Well, it is a coming of age in a sense. It perhaps in many of your traditions is thought of as the crone. It is being fully authentic, unapologetic for who you are, clear in who you are and what it is that you are wanting. It is the opportunity to not care anymore, to speak your truth, to put aside the need to conform or the need to please or the need to say yes. That perhaps is something embedded within many cultures in the human experience, especially with the feminine frequency. And so the transition here is to own one's own sense of self completely and fully in its wholeness, unapologetically, authentically, raw, and true. And so it is a passageway into that experience. And that is the space, the spaciousness, that the energy that is being asked to be invoked during that time. And when one can align and invoke that frequency and interface with that purity in its vibration, the wisdom, the ancient knowing of the elder, of the wise woman that can share as the matriarch, is extraordinarily powerful, but it must be owned.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right. Val, go ahead.
Hi, Raphael.
Hello.
Hello. I just wanted to ask about the sensation of deja vu. I don't know if that's too personal or a lot of other people, I guess, experience it. If that's like on the bridge or parallel stuff. And then I just wanted to ask a second part of like, how can we like further support our children during this time?
You are all asking me about objects that were moving and that were changing, and this is the shifting and jumping of timelines. This is somewhat similar in a deja vu as you are coming into relationship to a parallel timeline in reality that has already occurred or taken place, in which you are transcending through or bleeding through the reality, and it is appearing to you. There is nothing too much of this other than to know often when this occurs, it's often in relationship to something or someone in which you have a very deep connection to, and one in which there is much karmic relations and connection, and often energies that perhaps have not come into full balance or resolution. In terms of the support of your children at this time, what it is that we encourage all of you to do is to stay out of it. And that is because they have so much wisdom and so much light, and that you are here to hold a container of safety for them to move into full expression of who it is that you are, and to remain in a state of neutrality and curiosity, and to love them completely, absolutely, and unconditionally, and to be really clear if there is any programming that is being placed upon them, or constructs from the old paradigm in the old earth that perhaps you can bring to and shed light on, are not so important. For many children are overwhelmed with work and homework and things to do in their experience that is deeply still embedded in the construct of what we would call or perceive an earth that is no longer viable as you are ascending into this new and higher frequency. And so the support of their passion and their creational process and their ability to think outside of the box and to attune to higher vibrations, and the activating of their light body and attunement to nature is essential. Many of the old paradigms and structures of things that appeared to be of great importance, especially around certain systems and accomplishments, which they may still be going through specific hoops that are needed through the conditioning of the human experience, will not be relative in the new world that they will be experiencing and living in. And so not taking many of those things too seriously and focusing on their connection to their divine spirit is essential at this time.
Thank you, Raphael. Yasmin.
Hello, Raphael.
Hello.
My question revolves around how do we know we've ascended to the 5D? Like, what are the signs? Things feel somewhat similar, but also, I mean, kind of different. But what are the signs? What should we be aware of? Thank you.
It is that you will start to notice the processes in your experience, and the ways of synchronicity and flow and grace are shifting and changing, and that there is more ease. You will start to see a way of perceiving in which you will notice what we would call a glitch in the matrix, in a sense, in which you can look and observe your experience from a holographic perspective. You will also notice your own sense of divinity and your ability to connect with other dimensions and other realities. These energies will feel different in that you just become more aware of awareness itself, more aware of consciousness itself, more in attunement and alignment with the flow of energy, the grace of energy, the abundance of energy. And even when things are unfolding in your experience that in the past would have been perceived or labeled as something negative, you are able to see and find the divinity in it, the perfection in it. Your perception of everyone and everything and his experiences changes. The need to complain starts to fall away. Judgment starts to shift. Acceptance around others or their behavior or how things are comes more into balance. There is just an upgrading in your entire system, in your operating field, in your way of being and perceiving. And more you feel and experience more love inside your heart. And you're able to move into an understanding that is different. There is a widening of the lens and the perception. You start to step into your mastery and the remembering that you are a master of your experience. A quickening in creation and manifestation begins to happen. An attraction to those who bring you love and a sense of peace start to come into your experience. A sense of oneness appears as you begin to notice and feel a sensation when you attune to everyone that a part of them is you. You have moments and glitches of times in which you can feel a sea of light around you, a sense of oneness. You step back for a moment, perhaps in the simplicity of a grocery store, and just look around and observe everyone and everything. And you see it from a new perception. You are rising up out of the matrix. You have a bird's eye view. You have a different way of perceiving and reacting to situations. Even the death and the loss of loved ones you perceive in a different way. Your relationships begin to shift. Your connection with nature widens and opens. Things start to light up. The foods that you ate begin to change. The water that you drink becomes more expansive. Your connection to the animal kingdom changes. Your knowing and remembering that you can communicate with them without words becomes clearer. Signs come into your experience. Connection and communication with your loved ones who are on the other side becomes stronger. Visitations during nighttime with beings from other dimensions are more vivid. Your dreams become more intense. You begin to have lucid dreams and astral dreams. You begin to connect with your energetic body. All of these things are symptoms and signs that you are moving into this higher dimension. And for them now, some of them might just slowly be turning on. Some may have not come on at all. But wherever you are in the process of this awakening is exactly where you are meant to be. It is essential for all of you not to worry that you'll be left behind or that you're not going to make the highest timeline or that you're not ascending quickly enough or that you're not noticing those things fast enough, but to trust in the unfolding of your own process because it's the design that you have designed for yourself in this unfolding and wherever you are is perfect.
Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful answer. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Jen, go ahead.
Hi, Raphael. Thank you for taking my question. In keeping with the last question, actually, I wanted to know if there's a way you can distinguish between ascension symptoms and actual physical illness. And then just also in keeping with what you were talking about earlier with the emotions being at the root of physical conditions, is there an overarching theme in terms of when women get breast issues? What is the root cause of that? Thank you.
We recognize that this issue of breast issues is expanding around your planet. Oh, there is an echo.
Should be resolved.
And it is that this is multifaceted. because part of it is the relationship with the Great Mother herself. And it is a sense, especially within the feminine human body, to come back into nurturing relationship and love for self. First of all, we want to preface this that there is no fault when one is experiencing a disease or breast cancer or any disease of any kind. And yes, there is an emotional component, but it is very complex. And perhaps we can delve deeper into this in the code work. But it is that in addition to the complexity of the human emotion that descends and finds its way into vulnerable spaces within the body that then exhibit disease, there is a relationship, and there always has been, between you as humans and your great mother herself, meaning the Mother Earth, and the disease that she is feeling due to the neglect on a collective level and the abuse on a collective level. And some choose, and it is completely unconscious, are aligning with her frequency and with the lack of nourishment that is taking place. And so, this same nourishment that is deprived within her energetic systems, within her own breast herself, is mirrored in the human collective breast in the lack of nourishment and self love that has been mirrored in the neglect of the earth. We know that this is quite esoteric and perhaps difficult to fully wrap one's mind around. And so perhaps we will not delve as deeper into this as we could, but will in future transmissions. But from the human experience, in this way, much of this is the denial of the own divine feminine itself. And part of the gateway of the winter solstice, as we are passing through, that is awakening the divine feminine, is coming into full relationship and love for the human body in the feminine body. For the feminine body has received much ridicule, much pain, and has been asked over periods of time, especially through your cultures, to be shifted, changed, or manipulated in order to look or be perceived in a certain way. And in that way, then it is loved. And the breast itself is a representation of this energy that, however, is there for the beauty and the nourishment to give to a child. And it has been neglected and it has been utilized in a sexual way that is disconnected from its original purpose. And there is on a global vibrational shame that is around the human body of the feminine in many ways. And so, from a collective perspective, there is a need to bring balance back into this part of the body, in the human body of the divine feminine, to honor your bodies and to love your bodies fully and completely as they are, whether they are rounded or whether they are short or whether they are tall and lanky or thin or whether they are fat or wrinkled, to honor all bodies in all shapes, in all forms, completely and absolutely in their divinity, to allow the goddess to rise again, the 13th energy in which is being ignited during this passageway through these gateways, for that energy to be honored, to be bowed down to the great goddess in her form of every form, and not in the eyes of the image of the constructs of how one thinks it should to be and to embody and to embrace and to adore and to love completely in the rawness, in the nakedness, and in the imperfection of the feminine body, all of it. And that on a collective level has been neglected. And that then is represented in the form of the nourishment of the divine feminine as it gives and gives birth to the new child. As it births and gives life, it also nourishes life through the breath and the honoring and the beauty in that. And that has been cut off. The divine feminine in that way has been severed, as it has been placed that it must be or should be something other than that. And so the mirrored reflection within the energetic holographic field of that is the removal of the breast, is the disease of the breast, is the dishonoring of it. This is not in any way to suggest that those experiencing breast issues have done anything wrong, but it is in the field of the human feminine frequency that is asking and begging to be seen, to be recognized, to be honored, to be loved fully and unconditionally in its wholeness, regardless of how it has been perceived or labeled by another that it should be. We recognize that this is a deeper topic in which we would love to delve into at another time, but we want the takeaway from this to be for all women, to whatever form your body is in this moment, whatever shape it has taken, whatever roles it may have, or whatever emptiness it may be experiencing, or whatever wrinkle it may be occurring, or whatever it is upon it in which you have perceived as an imperfection, that in that imperfection you can see the beauty within it, that you can find the love for it, that you can embrace it, that you can own it, that you can be free in the nakedness of your own divine perfection, because it is divinely perfect already as it is.
Thank you, Raphael. And that's all the questions we'll be taking today. Thank you all so much, and come back next week and raise your hand again. Thank you.
Thank you for speaking with us from the angelic realm. We are delighted to be here as always with all of you, recognizing that today you have been asking a lot about the human body, about the healing of the body. And we will be addressing that as we will be upgrading your entire nervous system as you are passing through the winter solstice. This nervous system moving from the 12 to the 13 in relationship to the nodes and lines upon your great mother and into the galactic realms, creating a wholeness as codes are inserted within your energetic body, upgrading your body to a whole new level, activating your DNA and aligning you with the new template of light. With that, many blessings, much love, and good day. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining today and for all of your beautiful questions. I'm so glad you could all be here. I will see you on Saturday at 12:21 p.m. New York time for the winter solstice. You can register as you receive the email or in the link below on YouTube. And I hope you have just a wonderful, wonderful evening. And thanks for all the love and light. Sending you so much love. Mwah. All right. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you again soon. And remember, if you're watching this on YouTube and you want to be one to ask your own question, join our free membership where you get to raise your hand. And I'll see everybody Saturday. Okay. Love, love. Bye,
Love.
guys. Bye.
Love.
Love, love,
Love,
love, love, love, love, love. Thank you.
Thank you.
Love, love,
Love,
love,
love,
love.
love, love.
Beautiful. Thank you all.
Love, love,
You're
love.
welcome. All right.
Love, love, love.
Bye.
Love, love, love.
All right. Bye, everybody. YouTube Live, I think, still on. See you on Saturday, 12:21 p.m. for the winter solstice. Sending you all so much love and thanks for joining. Take care.